Welcome back. She Rebuilds the World is an NGO that seeks to empower women entrepreneurs across Africa with various skills suitable to grow their businesses. The NGO just finished season 2 in Namibia, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. Now are on season 3 to launch in Namibia and other sub-Saharan countries. Leva Jakobsone is the founder of the project, and she now joins us with more details. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very fine, thank you.
Welcome to Good Morning Namibia, albeit virtually.
Thank you for having me.
Please talk to us about the mandate, the objectives, the aims of your NGO.
Yes. First of all, it's a Latvian Development Cooperation Project, so it's a government project. Each United Nations country has the duty to help and assist with our knowledge, with our expertise, other countries. So this is the first Latvian government development cooperation project on African continent. We started 2 years ago and successfully last May or this May, we finished the season 2 with more than 1,000 ladies from Zambia, Namibia, Zimbabwe involved in our educational programs. It's entrepreneurship, digital literacy, financial literacy, and also women leadership skills.
That is quite a noble cause. And where do you operate from primarily?
So the NGO is based in Latvia. So as the Latvian government is financing us, so we are in Latvia. So Latvia is a very small country, quite similar history and quite similar size and population as Namibia. So whenever we go back to Namibia, our experts, our teachers, we always say we are the same. We were part of Soviet Union, so last 30 years we saw development, economic development. So we know how it is, to come from nowhere, and go forward and succeed. I myself, I'm based in Rome. I'm a professor here in university, so I also have aligned Latvian and Italian professors, academics to work on this project and to give the best and share the best knowledge which we have learned throughout the years.
In other words, you are in Italy as we speak.
Yes, I'm in Rome.
Very well. Madam, please talk to us about what drove you to found this establishment. What was the inspiration?
The inspiration, it's like always, it starts like a story, like a startup story. Now, 5 years ago, a friend of mine, who's currently the Zambian ambassador in Brazil, he was my student actually here in Rome, and he started to talk about African continent, so what you aspire to be, what are the things people wish and dream about. So I went to Zambia in 2019 and I fell in love. Basically, so that's part of me, our human heritage. And I decided at that time, the government of Latvia decided to focus also on Africa in the scope of development cooperation projects. And me and my diaspora organization, people from entrepreneurship, from academia, from NGO perspective, we decided we want to do a development cooperation project in Africa. So I aligned the forces, from diplomatic corps, from NGOs, from the business community in Namibia, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. And that's how we started 3 years ago.
Now, you set the bar quite high, having empowered in excess of 1,000 women in season 2 alone, if I understood you correctly. What is up next in terms of season 3? What can we expect?
So season 3 going to be focused, or actually is focused in Namibia. We are also clubbing together 2 new countries, Rwanda and Ethiopia. Ethiopia is in North Africa. But my idea and my wish is, as I come from the European single market, I have all the 4 freedoms to trade, to provide services, to live and work in any part of the European Union. And African continental free trade area is doing the same. So we want to empower women to scale up, to find partnerships, professional partnerships, and friends across the African continent so they can do the business, they can scale up the business. But in Namibia in season 3, we launched in August the first our program, digital literacy program. We have approximately 500 ladies from all, I think, 10 African countries who are going to participate in online program to scale up, their enterprise in digital transformation way. You talked about the fake news before. That's also going to be part of our program to understand how safe you can work in digital landscape, and how much you have to rely and what kind of information you can rely upon. So that's our first program. Then for Namibian ladies, we can also offer our entrepreneurship education program. And this year, because we have already the trainers who already have gone through our entrepreneurship education programs, we're going to work with our Namibian trained trainers to have the bootcamps in Windhoek, and then we're going to have also in Oshana and Orongo regions to reach out to the ladies who might not be able to come to Windhoek but want to learn. So we're going to work with these ladies in these regions in Namibia to provide decent, good American-based education program through all the boot camps. And also from January next year to May, we're going to have the online educational programs for them to come up with a real business plan and understand and how to make their businesses more efficient. And then again, we're going to have the financial literacy program and also a women leadership program. All the programs are online. They are sponsored and financed by the Latvian government, so it's free of charge. And we're also going to ensure that there are technical facilities in Namibian regions for the girls to be able to come, enjoy the time studying, learning, connecting, networking with other African ladies across the African continent.
How do you go about selecting the ladies? What criteria do you use?
Okay, so I think the first one is the willingness. We don't have any kind of like criteria as regards to age or let's say, like interest, or the background. I understand that a lot of women on the African continent might not have the opportunity to go to university. So we don't have also educational level requirements. So anyone who is an entrepreneur, anyone who is aspiring to make her business more efficient, more effective, we all welcome them. So we don't have specific criteria. It's the willingness, it's dedication, it's a lot of work, but we're going to help them to succeed, and get the best education they can.
You earlier shared with us that the training will happen online and that facilities will be provided across the country. Namibia is still plagued very much by a digital divide in terms of not only access to technology, but also understanding and being able to use technology efficiently. Would you like to talk to us briefly about that and how you intend to empower women to also overcome that challenge?
Yes, it's a very, very good question. And unfortunately or fortunately, the digital literacy skills and the rate of digital literacy for women is very, very low all over the world. Maybe if we look at Southeast Asia, we look at China, that's a different perspective. But when we look even at the European countries and African countries, the digital literacy rates are very similar for us. So I think it's something, where we are embedded as of early childhood as women to play with the toys and with the dolls, right? Not to play with the cars, less technology. So I think we want to kind of come across, and destroy this barrier, psychological barrier, and start with the basic level, the tools which are already available free of charge, just introduce the ladies that I can use this specific tool actually, or social media tool, to market, to sell my products, to bring it, to build my personal brand. So we're going to do it through all the 10 workshops starting from September till mid-November. And it's going to be very, very engaging, very down to earth, all the lessons going to be recorded, and the ladies don't have to be afraid not to understand anything. Our consultants and experts going to be there in the special WhatsApp group, and we're going to assess through all the road of getting this education throughout the 2.5 months.
Madam Eva, your passion is certainly audible and almost tangible. Is there a success story from the 1,000 women you've already trained that stands out for you that you'd like to share and highlight this morning, please?
I think there are a lot of success stories, we do have some great stories in Namibia. The thing is, when we look at women enterprises, existing ones, they are very small. We have there, let's say, fashion designer, who launched actually and scaled up our business in Windhoek. We have also one lady, who's working with fire industry products, and she was also very complimenting that basically the program helped her to understand how to build the business business, like can scale up your business. We have these small success stories. They are not unicorns yet, but we hope that like throughout our program, we're gonna have also women unicorns in Africa. The problem is not the education. The problem is not the dedication of women. The problem is the funding availability. And if you look statistically, the venture capital funding, just 2% go to women-built SMEs. I think, like we also try to eliminate this barrier of men who are in charge of money. They should trust women SMEs, because women SMEs, like for finance, their return on investment is twofold bigger than the men-run and men-founded SMEs.
How do you see the future of the project?
Well, if I have to be very kind of like dream-driven, I would like to have this project, like as a solid, sustainable project, like running with the boot camps in some African countries on the ground, but also connecting, like all 54 African countries, like which have joined or gonna ratify the African Continental Free Trade Area. So we have this community of women professionals, women business ladies, women leaders who can always rely on us, like to find their things, what they need, the people, what they need, like in our community. So that's my dream. And hopefully, like this year we have committed ourselves to go for the EU Commission funding. Also, I tried to talk with USA to enlarge and scale up this project so there are more ladies involved in our academic, like in professional training programs.
Are there plans perhaps to also get men on board?
Well, this is a very good question, Mike, and this is a very sensitive question. Definitely, men are on the board, but maybe, like they are more in a helping position, like a collaboration position. The empirical studies show that women are actually quite timid, like when they have to face and work together with men. And somehow by nature, like men are more aggressive, like more assertive, like, and we don't want psychologically frighten the women to express themselves, to talk, like, so this She Build the World community going to be just women focused, but now in the scope of kind of like scaling up this project, I'm talking also with universities in Latvia, like, and maybe hopefully soon with other universities in Europe, to focus on innovation, research and development activities and linking them with entrepreneurship. And in this case, like that's for these programs going to be open to all people, like including also men.
Any final message this morning before we let you go, Madame?
Yes, the final message, like, so I know that for some people would question why specifically women. And if I have to be honest, there's a lot of sensitivity, like that we women don't have so many opportunities, like, and definitely, like, so any man would ask, like, how can it be? You have the same rights, right? But if I have to look, like at empirical research, and that's International Monetary Fund, which has found that, for example, if women would have been given the same equal opportunities for work, for labor, for economic engagement, then specifically developing economies would, their GDPs would grow by 8%. And if we look at holistically at the global economy, global GDP, if women would have the same equal opportunities, then the global GDP would grow by 25%. So I would encourage everybody, like, to think that women should be given the same opportunities, and that means our economy is going to grow, our societies will be better, and of course our future and our children will be more safe.
Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for the great work that you continue to do.
Thank you so much, and I hope to be in Windhoek, and Oshana and Arango soon. Thank you so much.
We look forward to welcoming you on the program in person.
Thank you. Definitely.
Madam Leva Jakobsone, talking to us from Rome in Italy about an initiative that's underway, empowering women in Namibia, in Zambia and Zimbabwe. Ultimately, she says the pursuit is to ensure that women get equal opportunities, as that will grow the GDPs of our countries, but also that of the continent. We'll be back after a brief break.